Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever the time may be. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you're new around here. My name is James, aka Widowed, and today I am going to be giving you an aggressively mediocre player's guide to Scurrius, the new boss that has just been added to the game. This is a low to mid-level boss aimed at introducing players to the PvM experience. So with that in mind, this guide is going to assume that you have literally never done any PvM before. You might have, you've killed some goblins, maybe done some slayer tasks or whatever, but generally PvM, which in case you don't know is player versus monsters, refers to higher level encounters that require a bit more thought going into them than stand there and hit the thing till the thing dies. You'll have to react a bit more, switch prayers accordingly to a monster's attacks, and maybe dodge certain elements in the room, but you'll be a lot more rewarded for the experience. In the case of Scurrius, the combat XP here is very, very good, especially once you get the bone weaponry online, which I will be showing off later in this video. But for this first kill, because if you are a low level account with no PvM experience, your levels are probably going to be a lot lower than mine. I've put some very, very average gear on. This is the Proselyte, Hauberk, and Quest. You can get these from like the Slug Menace quest or something. This is just a book. It's got an ornament kit on it. Nezzy Helm most people have. Glory most people have. You got an Ardy Cloak and a D-Sim. Just some like standard sort of, if you could replace this with rune armor very easily. I just didn't actually have any rune in the bank and couldn't be asked to go find it. I got some standard gear. Whatever your best gear is, that's what you want to wear. You don't really want to waste charges on stuff. And if you have the Ratbone weaponry, definitely bring it, because it increases your XP substantially. One little concept I just want to address before we go into the boss room is prayers. Now, a key element of PvM combat and PvP combat, any combat in this game, is prayer switching. And if you don't have your F keys set up, it can be a lot more difficult to do this quickly. What I mean by this, if you go to your controls and keybinds, I would highly recommend putting the inventory on escape or F1, and then the prayer on the next one. I also have my mage on the one after that, my spellbook. This is so just by hitting the key, you can quickly switch back and forth between them without, my mouse is over here. I can still be clicking things on the screen while I'm going back and forth between whatever page I need to. But the most important two are your inventory and your prayer, so you can eat and react on your prayers. So get your F keys set up if you don't already, and prepare yourself to start off by praying from melee. That is what you're going to be praying for the majority of the fight. Drink a potion if you have any. I've just got regular combat potions here, and we're going in for a private instance because I don't like people. Alright, so we're going to chuck up the pray melee at the start, and you'll see that these rocks are dropping around the room. Every time he does his stomp like that, the rocks are going to drop. And you've got quite a long time to react to them. It's not, you can get like 2 attacks in if you're all attacking during that time. If he's next to you, he will spin around and hit you with his tail, which does melee damage if not protected against. You just keep the protect from melee on and hit him. And it's going to carry on like this until you get him to about 350, I think. If you have offensive prayers, feel free to use them. I use piety generally. I'm going to use it for the whole fight, just because it will be a little bit slower otherwise. Alright, when he gets to about 350, he goes and starts eating cheese to... shit, I should be reacting. He starts healing himself up, and he starts attacking with either ranged or mage. The ranged one is that green toxic blast that comes from the grey rat. The mage one comes from the other rat, the blue one, and looks blue. When these giant rats spawn, and then after he moves away from the cheese, you back onto Pro Melee. So that's the mage one there. Just switch it over quickly. Back to the ranged one. You have until the projectile hits you to react to the attack, so you don't have to be too quick with it. In fact, you can even leave it off until the attack's about to hit you, if you want to. And when the giant rats spawn, if you don't have the rat bone weaponry, you're just going to ignore them. Because they're not going to deal that much to you, and it's more important to just keep DPS in Scurrius. They will persist at the end of the fight, you just clean them up after, you always max it on them. Okay. So we'll clean up the rats real quick. I'm actually not going to eat up, because I will do another kill. That was pretty quick, and I feel like I need to just talk a little more about the mechanics of the fight in this garbage gear. You can eat from the food pile once every 10 minutes. It does not reset upon leaving the instance, so you do have to do it. It is every 10 minutes, like you have to wait the full length of time regardless of what world you're on or whatever. Okay, that felt a little hectic to explain as it was happening, but hopefully just this second kill will show you more. We're just reacting every time we see it come out. And I'll show you, you can actually leave your prayer off right until it hits you, and then put it on. Because that is when it hits. These rats hit through prayer, so you don't need to pray melee against them, just against Scurrius himself when he's not eating cheese. They hit through prayer reasonably accurately. And if you're trying to save prayer points, you can, you know, turn it off as much or as little as you want. Just make sure it's on when it hits you. Move out of the way whenever he stomps so you don't get hit by the things from the ceiling. It's a pretty simple fight, to be honest, but if you're not used to switching your prayers and stuff in the middle of a fight, then it's going to take some getting used to doing that, but that's what this is for. It's to teach you how to do these things, and it's not too punishing if you do make mistakes. I'll turn my prayer off. I think I got hit for one, maybe. Okay. It's hard to show it, really. But it's not too punishing. The only thing that is punishing is the rocks that fall above you. They can hit for like 20s, so you want to be careful of those in particular. But the rest of the encounter is all protected by your prayers. You don't need to worry at all. I want to bring Alk runes with you as well, for any profits you do make on the way. Alright, just back to switch over to the Bone Mace now. This is the melee weapon made from Scurrius' spine, which you can get as a drop from killing him. I think it's also tradable, so you should be able to buy it on the GE, but it might be expensive given the fact that the boss just released. The main reason you want to use bone weaponry is because, one, it's as good as a dragon mace, so it's pretty much as good as a dragon scimitar. 2, it hits plus 10 against rats. 3, you can only use it against rats. And 4, it gives you a 1-tick attack speed against the adds that Scurrius spawns, which means you can kill them all very quickly for a very nice big burst of experience, given the fact that you max hit them every time. So every time those rats pop up with the bone weaponry, you want to blast them as soon as you can, so that they have more potential chance to respawn. The reason you don't kill them usually is because they just respawn. Eventually she will respawn them again, or he will, I guess. But we don't have to worry about that. We want them to respawn as much as possible, because it means more XP for us. And other than that, the fight is exactly the same, except you're probably going to hit him a little harder than you were before. I am just going to start off with a 1 DDS spec. He is not immune to poison, so you can poison him. Definitely worth using a poison dragon dagger at the start of each encounter. A 38 there, even in this rubbish gear with no strength bonus. Like, I am level 90 strength, mind, but he melts so much quicker with this. It must have higher accuracy against him as well. I'm not actually 100% on that, though. You can see you can get, like, 2 attacks in before moving out of the way of the thing, and here is 1 tick attack speed. Not done 100% efficiently, but still done. Be sure to switch back to melee as soon as he gets off the food pile. If he does hit you off prayer, it's not going to hurt that badly. I'll leave it off for a couple of hits. If he doesn't just die, he may just die. That was 0. Okay, he's just hitting zeros. Hey, hit me a 6. The melee hits slightly harder and more often than the mage or range do. But it's not too much worse. It only hits up to like a 10 at the most. I think I've been hit for a 22 by the falling rocks. Alright, and for our last example, I have geared up as if I am going to make a full trip to Scurrius to farm him for as long as I can stay down there. Got my fighter torso on, rune boots, imbue berserker ring, dragon defender, amulet of fury, fire cape, and the barrow's gloves. Did keep the legs on because obby legs aren't that much better than proselyte, and extra prayer is nice in here. And I've got super potions this time around rather than the regular ones, so those boosts will be a bit nicer still. Bring in the DDS because it is still worth to get at the start of the fight. And we've got a dueling ring to reset at the Ferox Enclave, along with 6 prayer pots to last plenty of time in there. This kill's going to be quicker than the previous ones. Other than that, it's not going to be much different. It is still the same way, using the bone to kill all the rats quickly when they spawn, and hitting Scurrius for high numbers. I'll just do 1 or 2 kills as further examples of what it might look like, and then wrap up this video. 47. Okay, that's my max hit apparently. Just finding that out. Yay, rats. Suppose you might want a bone ranged weapon or bone mage to clean the rats up quickly as a switch. Then you don't have to run over to them. I think that actually probably makes more sense. But then you don't get melee XP from them, you get whatever XP from them. Anyway, that was a very quick kill. We take the rune chain body, alk it, and wait for him to respawn. It's honestly not that bad at all. If you're looking for a way to learn PVM, this is the way. Like, it teaches you PVM mechanics so much better than Barrows does. Because, like, those concepts just don't really apply anywhere else in the game. Whereas the stuff here transfers. You know, the skills you're learning here will be applicable to every other fight you do in the game. Learning how to react to prayer switches, how to dodge things in the arena, and deal with additional minions spawning in the middle of a boss fight. They're all things that are core concepts within the RuneScape combat system. You might have seen a poison tick there as well. Missed a few prayers, but not taking too much damage. Beautiful. That was pretty nice. Chaos runes! Yay! Generally, the loot here is not too great. Like, you're not really doing this for the loot. But there is my loot tab from... I suppose I'll just make it 60 kills, why the hell not? 2 spines are the most important thing. You use those to make more rat bone weaponry, or to trade them in for combat lamps. You can give them to the guy stood outside, and he will give you a 5000 XP combat lamp, which you can use in any skill. However, if you do it in prayer, it is 3.5k rather than 5k, because they always rip us off on prayer. I don't know. Yeah, the XP here is really good, and from the initial testing that I did, it seems to increase your XP by about 30% when using the Ratbone weaponry rather than standard weaponry. I was getting about 30,000 hit point XP from standard weaponry and about 40,000 from the Ratbone at my levels in this gear setup. So that is very good, because that's 40,000 hit points XP, not the other styles, you know. I'm getting like 100 to 120k in the other styles. If you have any questions about Scurrius, if there was anything unclear, or about PVM in general, if you are new to it and want some advice, if there was a term I used that was unfamiliar or something that didn't get explained, then please feel free to leave them in the comments and I will answer everything that gets put in there. Always nice to hear from people. And if this video helped you in any way, I'd love to know about that as well, because it's always nice to know I'm helping people as much as missing out stuff or whatever. Anyway, that's going to be all from me on this one. If you enjoyed it, do leave a like. It helps a ton, pushes me out into the algorithm, and lets me know that I should keep making the content that I'm making. Subscribe to the channel so you see all my future stuff here. If you'd like to see more PVM, low level PVM in particular, like, let me know and I can do guides on specific things. Always happy to take suggestions. If there's a particular boss that you want to see a guide for, shout it out, and if I know how to do it, I'll do it. But yeah, that is all. Be lovely to each other, look after yourself, have fun killing the Rat King, and I will see you on the next one.